Quiet on set. We are live.
Yes. Welcome to the TMA Postgame show as the Cardinals season comes to an end in heartbreaking fashion. 3-1, losing to the Dodgers in the bottom of the ninth. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Kenneth Iggy Strode, Action Jackson, Virgin Pringles Sauce Boss with you. Doug, when I saw Alex Reyes coming in, I had a bad feeling.
Yeah.
That was where I was. And not only a bad feeling for him losing the game, but having an impact on the future for Alex Reyes. That's what I was thinking as I saw him brought into the game. What were you thinking?
The exact same thing. I mean, he's given up some heartbreaking home runs. I said that as they brought him in. So, they hit TJ McFarland pretty hard, too. They're probably lucky to still be in it. The first two guys hit bullets to center field, and then he walked the number 8 hitter. And then Reyes came in. You just had that feeling that this was not going to end well. But, just everybody else gave it what they had. They just couldn't hit. They couldn't hit tonight. That's how they reeled off 17 wins in a row and came from nowhere this year, was getting the bats going, and they just had nothing offensively tonight.
Iggy, I know you haven't watched a whole lot of Cardinal baseball this year. You stayed up to watch this evening's festivities. What stands out to you?
I think what stands out is that Scherzer didn't have his best stuff, and they couldn't get to him. They had him on the ropes a couple of times, made him throw a lot of pitches, but 0 for 8 against him with runners in scoring position. They could have scored 3 or 4 runs early off of him and have been a different ball game. And they didn't. He thought after they manufactured a run in the first inning, they've done a lot of that this year, besides the long ball in that 17 game winning streak. But they've manufactured a lot of runs, and they did that in the first inning, but they couldn't knock them out, and they had the opportunity and they didn't. So they just didn't hit tonight. Relief pitching on both sides I thought were excellent. McFarland, Reyes blew it. As soon as Reyes came in, I said game over. But you can't walk a guy in a $180. But anyway, other than that, I thought the relief pitching was great. Wainwright was fabulous except for one mistake. He got out of it in the third, luckily with Turner swinging at ball 4, which could have been a whole different story there. But entertaining game, and you hate to see the Cardinals lose like that, but I thought they had a chance to win it. They just couldn't put it away.
Action Jackson, what do you got?
Well, Doug was ahead of me because we were hanging out in this stream here, and so I heard that the walk-off happened, and then about 35 seconds later, I saw it happen, which is always optimal. Not Doug's fault. It's my television's fault.
Sounds
what
like
are you gonna do?
Doug, very interesting strategy.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. In the 7th inning, in the mid. I don't know if the Cardinals were at bat. They panned to the Cardinal dugout, and it looked like they'd already lost. They looked defeated. Yachty looked defeated. The whole team looked like they knew they didn't have a chance. And it kind of felt like that. They got a kind of not a BS run, but it was a wild pitch that they scored on. They didn't really do much to threaten after that. So it was a great pitcher's duel. But, what are you going to do? It's a tough way to go out.
I'll disagree with that, though.
I'm sorry, just because it's the number that I think you'll hear most about, and that is 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. So they did have opportunities, and they just couldn't convert any of the opportunities. I thought if there was one guy who typified the run in September, the award speaks for itself. Tyler O'Neill just had a really bad night at the plate and looked overmatched in a couple of those at bats. That number, though, I think is the one you're going to hear most about. 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. You get opportunities like that against a team of the Dodgers caliber. That's rough.
Yeah, but that was only 0 for 3 after Scherzer got 0 for 8 against him. So they didn't really do much against the Dodgers leaders.
Yeah, and they had the right guys up. Arenado came to the plate with runners in scoring position. O'Neill did as well. O'Neill struck out 3 times tonight. Goldschmidt had a chance with runners in scoring position. Tommy Edmonds had a fantastic game with 3 hits and 2 stolen bases, made an unbelievable defensive play, turned that double play on Turner to get him out of the 3rd inning. He was terrific. Bader got on a couple times because he got hit. But other than that, they just didn't do much. And can I say this also? I'm kind of surprised to see Iggy here with us. I thought for sure that was him sitting in the 2nd row. Did you see the guy with the round sunglasses and the beret? I thought maybe Lady Gaga had set him up with a couple of $10,000 tickets in row 2. But I guess not if he's here with us tonight.
No, I'm here. Besides the 7 text and the 9 post on the fan page that I was there.
Did you get that?
That's Lou Adler. He's often with Jack Nicholson at the Laker games. He's a record producer.
Oh, look at Action Jackson with information.
You can't. Come on.
I see that the comments are active right now. You can participate. Questions, comments. One question that stands out is the postgame show graphic strategically hiding Jackson's balding? Jackson, postgame show graphic to hide your male pattern baldness?
Yeah, when I created this, every time in the pick six, I'm always in the top left, which is right next to the banner there. And I strategically made it large with the point to get rid of this high point. Yeah, so it was really strategic graphic work on my part.
Well, I like it. Let's see. Reyes, I don't agree, but I understand because that is the safe play. No to Miller and no to the two starters. Put in the guy you're quote-unquote supposed to. Doug, as you were watching Reyes come in, we both said we had a bad feeling, and I was thinking about the impact on him beyond 2021 if it went Michael Waka, Travis Ishikawa. Is there anybody you would have preferred to see there, or do you just accept it for the situation that it was?
Yeah, it would be easy to sit here and say, where was Flaherty? Where was Hudson? You had those two guys. But these are the guys that got him there. I mean, Reyes has been pretty good his last few times out, if I remember.
Reyes got him nowhere the second half of the season.
Well, he had his rough moments for sure and lost his job as a closer. But as a setup guy, he started to come around. And again, these are the guys they used to get to this spot. And I can't fault Schilt too much for going to Reyes right there. I think had he gone to Flaherty, you would have heard that, wow, the guy's only pitched 2 innings since he came off an injury. How could you put the season on his shoulders? And if you'd gone to Hudson, I suppose you would have said, well, the guy's not a reliever. He's a starter. How could you do that? Reyes just made a bad pitch and certainly got burned. But I can't really blame Schilt for bringing in Reyes at that point. I think that was probably the way to go.
Your thoughts are welcome. We have the chat up. You can be watching, of course, on Twitter, YouTube, or on Facebook. And naturally, people are very disappointed. Honestly, and I don't know where you are, Doug, on this. I'm curious your mindset. I went into it, as we say in gambling, if you enter into a tournament and you didn't buy in, that you're free rolling. So for me, emotionally, I'm not as distraught as I think perhaps some Cardinal fans might be at this moment. They lost to a better team. I realize 0 for 11 stands out. I don't know how you can pay a compliment to Adam Wainwright's outing and then blame the Cardinals hitters for them not advancing past the Dodgers. It's the same thing that held true. Wainwright was outstanding, and even though Max Scherzer was not his typical self, he's still Max Scherzer. His issues tonight were with control. And the Dodgers bullpen is a strength as well. I mean, they keep rolling them out. I mean, so much so that Dave Roberts was comfortable pulling Max Scherzer, which isn't an easy thing to do, both literally and metaphorically speaking, from a game, because he has that depth in his bullpen. Plus, he had Urias ready to go should the thing go to extra innings. So, Doug, you always say they's on scholarship too. And that's a 106-win team, defending world champions. And, 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position is glaring. But that's a great pitching staff that they were up against and a great lineup. And Adam Wainwright held them in check, just like the Dodgers pitching staff held the Cardinals in check.
The Dodgers have a great bench, too. They kept pulling one guy after the next. And, how did they get Steven Souza? I know he hadn't been very good this year, but he had some years where he was good. I was quite sure Albert Pujols would hit a home run to lead off the bottom of the ninth. And then when the ball left his bat, I go, well, yeah, there it is. But, that would have been a storybook ending for him and the Dodgers. But they are just a loaded team. You can see why they are the favorites, not just to beat the Cardinals tonight, but to go all the way.
Yeah, to win the World Series.
Yeah.
We will be bringing in Chris Raby momentarily. He wants to toss the take skin around. Some questions, the Dodger fans, but I mean, this would happen, I think, in most ballparks. Joe West was getting booed. I thought the strike zone was outstanding.
I did too. I thought he was really good.
Okay.
I was ready to be mad at Joe West just because I think he's kind of a hot dog as an umpire. But I thought he was really good. He didn't miss very many at all. There was a few I would have liked to see the Cardinals get, but a big picture, I thought he was really good.
Anything strategically at all over the course of the game that in the moment, even if it didn't wind up burning them, that while it went on, you went, oh, I don't like that, or I wish they would do that? Anything stand out to you in any particular moment? Like Wainwright hitting for himself would be one. Yadier Molina not bunting after Carlson let off with the shift beating base hit to left. Anything stand out?
Those were probably the two. Wainwright got an at bat there that maybe he shouldn't have had if you're going to take him out as soon as somebody got on base at the next inning. I have to say I was very happy that the Dodgers took out Scherzer. I thought they had a little quick hook on that.
Stunned by that. I was stunned when they did that.
I think Scherzer was stunned by it too. So I was happy to see that. And now I see the Dodgers celebrating with champagne like they just won the World Series. You won one game. You won one game. That's all you won. Now knock it off.
Hold them accountable, Doug.
Tired of it. You haven't won anything yet. You want a wild card game. You still got to play the Giants. They'll probably take your measure. So knock it off with the celebrate. There's guys shirtless, topless, pouring beer and champagne on their heads. It's a wild card game. Who celebrates like that after a wild card win?
The wild card win celebration thing is a little awkward. Guys, looking at it from a 40K foot view, first and second, no one out, and 3, 4, 5 coming up in the fourth was the moment for the Cardinals. That's what really burnt the Cardinals. That comes from Colin via Facebook. That was the opportunity.
Especially after Wainwright got out of that third inning and he's coming off the mound. He had the momentum. First two guys on, you figure, okay, here we go. And nothing.
Jackson, you can go ahead and bring Chris in whenever he is ready. We'll continue to take your questions. If we are being honest, the Giants make it a better series than what it would have been with the Cardinals. I don't know what that means. The Dodgers perhaps make it a better series than what, but yeah, I'm accepting of this, and maybe as the show plays out both today and the radio show tomorrow, Doug, you and I don't know where Jackson and Iggy are specifically. Maybe we're in the minority. The Dodgers are a great baseball team, and they have outstanding pitchers. And so this isn't like they got beat by, like the Brewers in 2011 had a really crappy pitching staff relative to a team that was 4 wins away from a World Series. The Dodgers are stacked, not just in the rotation, but also in their bullpen. So the Cardinals not scoring a lot of runs, it's like Roy Halladay and Chris Carpenter Game 5 in Philadelphia. If that would have been 10-9, you would have gone, what in the hell happened? 3-1 was about right. The run total for the Cardinals tonight was 2.5. That was the over-under in Las Vegas. I mean, this is, you had, if anything, how many opportunities they had is the thing that would stand out. Chris, you are now in the presentation. What stands out to you, sir?
What stands out to me first is Adam Wainwright. Iggy just mentioned the third inning. I thought an incredible job in the at-bat against Turner. When he fell behind 2-0, the curveball all of a sudden was gone. Yadi goes to the mound, and he goes to his fastball. This guy who's 40 years old goes to his fastball to re-find the curveball. Gets Turner to saw a couple foul balls off, spikes a curveball, I think, to get it to 3-2, and then gets him to ground into the double play. I thought that was just an unbelievable kind of, I guess, summation of what Adam Wainwright has been the last couple of years, because the stuff is still really, really good. But even when the stuff is not great, whether it be over the course of an at-bat, an inning, a game, he and Yadi always seem, and excuse the hyperbole, but always seem to figure out a way to make it work. I thought that was remarkable. You rarely see Wainwright shake Yadi off. I think that, I'm excited to watch those guys next year and see what else Wainwright can do. I texted you, Tim, during the game. It looked like Yadi was a little banty to me. I noticed that.
So you thought the first base coach was relaying the signals to Justin Turner on the home run? Is that what you think Yadi picked up?
I got multiple texts from people who would pick up on that kind of thing. And it looked in the inning just before Turner hit the home run, Yadi was almost staring down the first baseline to the point where he almost wasn't looking at where the pitch was coming. A little gamesmanship maybe, but that was, to me, forget whether or not anything was happening. That to me was the level of intensity in this game. It felt like from the very start, it was going to be whichever team took advantage of an opportunity and either got a break or caught a hanging breaking ball, or Cardinals' first run, Edman getting around the bases without even a ball leaving the infield. It felt like that kind of game, that razor thin margin for error. And from a drama standpoint, from an entertainment standpoint, from a wild card game standpoint, I don't think you can really ask for anything else other than, if you're a Cardinal fan, the Cardinals hitting the home run at the end of the game. But lack of execution aside, just from an entertainment and a drama standpoint, I thought it delivered.
We're getting this one. I think is a good observation. Again, it's not strategy, and the guy had a ridiculous September. He's why the Cardinals were even in the game. Tyler O'Neill swinging at a first pitch, and Ron Darling mentioned you go up there sometimes guessing when he wasn't locating that at all night. I think he's talking about Scherzer. After the Goldschmidt walk was the beginning of the end of that fifth inning rally. Again, it's not strategy. It's a guy who was on an incredible run going into the game, but that was Tyler O'Neill's at bats. I mean, again, you're picking on a guy going up against Max Scherzer and the Dodgers bullpen, but in that moment, I hated that. I get that you could say it's results oriented because he didn't hit it, and if he does guess right on fastball and hit a 3-run homer, it's the greatest thing ever. But considering that Scherzer was having the problems he was having, his pitch count was as high as it was at that point. I didn't like that in the moment, and I swear to you, had he even hit a home run, I would have said, "Oh, I'm surprised he was swinging there." But again, I think because the game was so tight, because there were so many opportunities, and the Cardinals didn't capitalize. I think sometimes games like this lead to fans, media grasping for things as opposed to just going, you know what, we got to tip our cap. The Cardinals could have won it, but that's a great baseball team. And the reason why they won 106 games is in part their pitching and their depth. And that pitching and depth was the reason why they were able to beat the Cardinals tonight. And why, as you were saying, Doug, why they're the favorite to win the World Series. So as devastating as the result was and the manner that it went down, I'm comfortable with it because, they gave the best team in baseball a run into the bottom of the ninth in a season a month ago. Not one of us thought they were even going to be in this spot. So that's how I view it. Maybe I need to be more banty. I don't know.
No, I look at it the same way. I mean, it was a great ball game. I mean, I agree with Doug. Maybe the only thing you can nitpick is, I don't agree with if you're going to take Wainwright out in the fifth, if somebody gets on base, why are you going to let him hit with a man on first? You're going to take him out anyway. I didn't agree with that, but it worked out. It was a good ball game. I mean, both teams pitched well in the bullpen. There weren't any timely hits until the bottom of the ninth inning when Reyes made a mistake. It was a 106-win team against a team that won 90, but they won 20 of them the last 4 weeks of the season. It was a good ball game, and I don't know how you could be pissed off at a 3-1 game.
I was a little concerned about Sosa in the early innings. He looked like he was just a wee bit nervous there defensively.
Yeah.
And when they made the change, DeYoung made a great leaping catch to end the 8th inning. So I think Schilt probably saw that too, that Sosa looked like maybe the moment was a little big for him there in the early going anyway.
Man, he hit that ball hard in the 8th.
Yeah. But, it's pretty simple, really. If you don't score, you don't have a chance to win. And the only run they got was on a wild pitch. I don't think the Cardinals hit the ball hard 5 or 6 times the entire game. How many weak little ground balls did you see? And 10 strikeouts? They just didn't hit. And when you don't hit, and they didn't hit because they faced perhaps the best pitcher in the National League and then probably the best bullpen in the National League too. That's why they didn't hit. But if that's all you can do, if you can only scratch together a couple of broken bat hits, and I guess Goldschmidt hit a shot to right center that was a legitimate, well-hit ball. But beyond that, did they have another hit that was really on the nose? I don't remember it if they did.
Yeah.
If you just can't do anything at all at the plate, they didn't hit a ball to the track. They didn't have an extra base hit. You're not going to win.
Yeah.
I don't think they had another hit. Well, they have 3, 4.
I believe it was 5 was the final total. I'll pull up the box score. They had 5.
Taylor,
Dodgers had 7.
Taylor kind of stumbled and caught Sosa's kind of sinking liner that looked like it was hit right on the nose in the 8th. And then was Carlson when he was running and had to tag up and the Dodgers challenged? That was in the 7th.
That ball was hit by Molina.
Yeah, it was Molina. I don't know. Part of me wonders, and I'll ask you guys: did you see an improvement or a change in approach or how the offense went about it, or am I only posing that question because they won a bunch of games? Because middle of the season it was Jeff Albert, Jeff Albert, Jeff Albert. Did the approach, you think, get better? Did the process offensively get better, or did good players just kind of regress up to their mean and start producing a little bit?
You talking about the final month of the season? Is that what you're asking?
I guess the final couple of months, because the offensive numbers got better starting in what, August through September. I can't decide though if I think the offense actually got better. If you're the Cardinals, are you excited about bringing Jeff Albert back again? Do you think there have been any strides made offensively or philosophically?
Oh, you're going Jeff Albert. Okay, now I see where you're going. I didn't know if you're talking about tonight or.
Well, O'Neill certainly made a big move upward, and Bader looked like a little bit different hitter there towards the end of the year.
Carlson improved over the course of the year.
He did. I just can't believe that a young hitting coach like that has much of an effect on what Paul Goldschmidt is doing and Nolan Arenado and Yadier Molina. I mean, DeYoung, maybe I wish somebody could have helped DeYoung, but I think those veterans kind of know what they're going to do, regardless of what the hitting coach tells them. Maybe he's got a bigger impact on the younger guys. I don't know, but some of the younger guys did make significant strides forward. So I don't think anybody's going to finish this season saying Jeff Albert was the problem. Maybe they will. I don't know. That wasn't my thought, because I thought they wound up hitting pretty well. They had 3 guys hit over 30 home runs, and they had DeYoung had 19, and Bader had 16 or 17, and they wound up hitting pretty well when it was all said and done.
Yeah, the hitting coach would probably be someone you don't really pay attention to if things are going well.
Yeah, sure. That's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people remember who the Cardinals hitting coach was in 2006? I actually don't even know who the Cardinals hitting coach was in 2006. Anybody know? Doug, you know who the Cardinal hitting coach was in 2006?
How about Mitchell Page? Remember, he was in
2004. I don't think he was around for 2006, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Can I have initials? Do you have it right there in front of
No,
you?
I actually don't know. But in this case,
I'm on it.
Jackson, you got it?
Give us initials when
McGuire
you find
was in 2011, right?
I think so. That sounds right.
Then was
somebody said it was Darnell Coles. Thank you.
It was not Darnell Coles.
I don't know. I think I got that.
I think he got fired like in 05.
Darnell Coles?
Yeah. Yes. Boy, this is not the easiest stat. This is not the easiest thing to find.
Oh, for heaven's sakes!
I don't want to throw
okay.
people off on it. Guys, was the offensive surge during the win streak almost a false positive given the opponents we faced and how there was little to no incentive to compete due to already clinching playoffs being too far gone? I respectfully disagree with that. All of the teams that the Cardinals faced up until the Cubs were in the mix for a postseason spot at the time that they faced them. Started with the Dodgers, Reds, Mets, Padres. I mean, it was full of teams competing for a postseason spot. So that's revisionist history, and that's the other thing that I didn't want to rain on the parade going into it, but we did talk a little bit about there is a good chance, whether it was a couple days ago or a week ago, that the Cardinal season will come to an end in Los Angeles. A really good chance that happens. And so if and when that happens, then how do you take a step back and view things? And from my standpoint, no matter what they did tonight, I feel like they are going to be aggressive this offseason. So for some people who I think were worried that them getting into the wild card would lead to them sitting back this offseason, I just don't think that's the case. Part of my reasoning is the money coming off the books, albeit Arenado's dollars go up substantially. The other reason is I think Ben Wainwright and Molina out with at the very least another bat, potentially rotation. You have the DH coming. And yeah, this is only one game in comparison to the sweep against the Nationals in 2019 when it was in bright lights, but the Cardinals need offensive help. And the shortstop market this offseason is as flush as it has ever been, and it could be the perfect match. So I know the Post-Dispatch guys were talking about Corey Seager. Corey Seager actually was a friend of the Cardinals tonight. But I think the Cardinals will be aggressive despite the fact that they got into the playoffs, and I don't think they will sit back. But that's what I thought after 2019 too, and I wound up being wrong.
I think shortstop's probably the only spot we'll see change among the starting 8. And you're not going to mess with that outfield. And I don't think you're going to mess with the infield either, except for short.
Nope, that's the only place. And it just happens to be where the free agent market is optimal.
And you do need a DH. You haven't got anybody on the bench there that looks like an everyday DH. Newt Bar might work as a 4th outfielder. You might need a starting pitcher.
Yeah.
I think you probably need one starting pitcher, but even if you don't get a starting pitcher, you still got 6 or 7 guys with major league experience that are going to be under contract. So, yeah, I believe it's like $51 million coming off the books between Carpenter and Fowler and Miller, something like that.
I think there's some Cecil money.
Yeah. So you would think that they would have money to throw at a shortstop. Carlos Martinez.
Yeah, so there's a good amount. Guys, it's a small thing, but Max Muncy dislocating his elbow this past weekend is the only reason this game was close. A full Dodger lineup with their full complement of hitters scores more than 2 runs. That is from the Facebook comment.
Yeah, you don't know that for sure.
Right. That was a brutal break for the Dodgers that they didn't have. Let's see. Iggy, are you having a quick dart? Is that what you people are wondering?
Yeah.
It is, Doug. Doug, are you enjoying a cigarette?
I'm not. I've never had a cigarette at any point in my life. I don't intend to start now.
Are you enjoying a breezeway, Doug?
A breezeway? No, I haven't got one of those either.
Yeah, I'm in the breezeway. I'm just trying to stay awake.
Are you?
Pardon me?
Max Scherzer is topless doing an interview right now on the game.
Oh, that's hot.
He's doing his post on the field. He's on the field topless.
We need to do something, Doug, about baseball celebrations. Like maybe you get like canned beer when you clinch a playoff spot, then you get bottled beer, then you work your way up to some. But the champagne every round, like theoretically with the wild card game now, you could have a clinch a spot in the wild card game, win the wild card game, win the divisional series, you could celebrate with champagne 4 times before you're in the World Series. That's outrageous.
They do.
Outrageous.
I believe Martin Kilcoyne as Tony La Russa said that you should just throw nachos on each other at the beginning. And then and then asked Tony, he said, just toss nachos over each other.
Sick.
Well, why wouldn't you?
You know what? We got a radio program. Oh, go ahead, Iggy. I was going to wrap up, but you wanted to give a take. You wanted to toss the old take skin around.
No, I just want to say, it's technically a playoff win. I mean, they made the playoffs, so they won a playoff game, so why not celebrate? They got a day off.
Well, they don't do that in any other sport.
Why do you care? It's not your champagne.
Why do you care so much about my life? Final take for me. You mentioned the strike zone. I'm so glad they got rid of that stupid box on the TV because
I saw Andrew Marchand saying that it was a technical issue that they couldn't use it and they didn't make the choice.
Well, I know that some telecasts, like ESPN, I don't believe uses it on Sunday Night Baseball anymore, which I think is great because that can become what everyone pays attention to rather than the actual strike zone. I thought Joe West was really good tonight, like you guys said. And it's nice to not have that thing, people constantly being banty about that box.
Yeah, I don't know if it was intentional or not. Marchand said it was a technical issue. But either way, I thought Joe West was good, and the booing from Dodger fans was – I think they were just surprised Scherzer wasn't on, and they were expecting those to be called strikes historically. All right, we'll be on the air on 590 The Fan, KFNS, and Inside STL in 7 hours and 10 minutes. So we will shut it down. We'll talk with the people tomorrow. And then Chris and Iggy are playing their match, weather cooperating, tomorrow. Doug, I know you will be following that closely to see.
I will not be. No, okay, I will not be following that. Yeah.
So that's
won't be there
around 11 o'clock.
Well, I don't think I can win. I don't think I can win in 5 hours.
You look like the doll from Saw right now, Iggy.
Right. I mean, 5 hours sleep. 5 hours sleep. That is 6 hour round today. I'm beat.
So you're already conceding? This is like Jack Nicklaus at the Ryder Cup.
I'll play, but I may be late tomorrow. I don't know.
All right. Sounds good.
Get by.
We will wrap up the post-game show. Thank you to everybody staying up. Thank you to all of the people on the show for staying up. And we'll all be on the radio presentation in 7 hours. We'll talk then, gentlemen. See you later.
All right. We'll see you.
Sweet dreams.